Hey folks, Lauren from Snowy's here with the Australian RV 3.2 m telescopic ladder. It does come in a storage bag that does have a webbed strap, shoulder strap up here, but it also has this little hole at the front which is perfect for sliding your hands into, a bit of a carry case here on that bottom rung. So as you can see, I'm about 171 centimeters and I'm just holding on to that perfectly. It's nice and comfortable under the shoulder here, so I can walk around easily, transport the ladder wherever I need to. It also weighs about 9.8 kilos, so it's not overly heavy. And when it's packed up, it's about 95 centimeters tall by about 47 centimeters wide. And we're looking at a depth here of about 8 centimeters. So this ladder is going to be really handy, potentially if you have a caravan or a camper trailer and you need to access the top of the roof, maybe even packing a four-wheel drive or a camper van that is much too tall for you to access with, say, a step ladder. It's also really handy and something that I really love this ladder idea for. It's just to have around the house. Maybe you don't have a huge amount of storage space for one of those massive A-frame ladders or extending ladders that you conventionally get from a hardware store. Hold up fam, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any awesome content on the Snowy's channel. Let's get into it. So the ladder has a web strap that runs from this rung here all the way around the top and just Velcro shut, and that keeps all of the rungs collapsed and together whilst you're moving about. You can better see here, or I'll flip it over. You can better see here we've got that soft rubber grip, which is where I was holding through the hole in the storage bag. And we've got these nylon plastic, I guess you could call them hubs on each of the steps, and then we've got our little aluminium alloy step. And between all the steps, we've got a nice little rubber bumper to keep the gap there, and when you're collapsing the ladder down, I'll show you in a minute, that stops each of the sections from crashing into each other. The other cool feature that you can see on the bottom of the ladder, and I'll just quickly flip it up here, is the base of it, or maybe if you have a look from the angle there, the base of it is very slightly curved, which is very handy because if you are setting up the ladder and you want to sort of rock it forward or back, it's still going to be supported and gripping into the ground in whatever angle you're going to have your ladder. And the other thing to note is obviously being a telescopic ladder, you've got the thicker parts of the tubes down the bottom and the thinner parts at the top. So if I want to just extend the ladder, I don't want to extend it out the whole way. I just want a bit of a short distance, and I extend from the top. I'm going to be relying mostly on these thinner parts of the frames to support me. And this is going to be all very good and well if you want to use the ladder at its full extension, but it's actually going to be a lot safer for you if you do want to have just use the ladder at its shorter extension, for you to go from the bottom, because then you're going to be using the firmer tubes to keep you supported. Now I'm going to keep going here, but potentially I've done this the wrong way for my short little height for the ladder's full extension. So I'm just going to drop these all the way down like so, and then we'll pull it up. So you can hear that the ladder is clicking into place with each little section there. And that's how I know that the rungs are locked into their little mechanisms. So I'm going to hold this up against our upper level here in the store, like so. Now you would have seen me demonstrate already the releasing pins. I do feel like in the past, like in previous versions of the ladder or potentially other brands, there is the feature where you just press the bottom buttons and then the full ladder collapses. Whilst that might seem convenient and it might save you a minute here or there, the fact that each of these individual steps are locked is pretty nifty, because if it's a singular mechanism and that mechanism fails, your whole ladder's stuffed, right? Whereas if we're looking at the individual releasing of the steps, if one of those fails, all you're really losing is about 30 centimeters of distance in your ladder. For example, if this one had failed, I can still use the whole rest of my ladder. So I did say you're losing only 30 centimetres. The distance between your rungs is about that 30 centimetre mark there, so that's why. So I'm going to climb up the ladder and I'll show you a bit of the stability test. I'll just open that up to its full extension. So just going up the ladder here like so. I'm going to bounce on the ladder a bit. You can see there's a little bit of flex. And even though there is some flex and movement, there's certainly not a feeling that the ladder is going to collapse or fall. It does feel very sturdy despite that flex. So going from side to side here, there's not, the ladder is sort of moving because there's no hooks or latch points at the top here to latch on to whatever you're holding your ladder up against. So the recommendation would be that you put your ladder up against something where the top of the ladder extends sort of far beyond where you're wanting to go. But there's no sort of twist or flex. I'm actually working really hard to try and rotate the ladder on the spot here, and there's none of that at all. It's mostly just that back and forward flexing or bounce that's going to occur as I'm climbing up and down the ladder. So come back down here like so. And then packing the ladder away, it's just a simple matter of pressing each of the latch pins on either side. You're going to obviously also want to make sure that your fingers are not above the rung that you are collapsing. And these are going to bounce down like so. As you can see, those rubber bumpers are coming in really handy there. The top one's just a little bit of resistance. And now we're going to go. And so the lower we get, the more compact the ladder will go. So we've got a bit of a gap here, but as I collapse this next one down, that gap's going to close off. And then once we hit our final ladder, our final rung, all of those rungs are going to compact down into their even spacing. So that's about it for the Australian RV 3.2 metre telescopic ladder. It's made, because it's all aluminium, it's going to be pretty relatively weatherproof, but you're obviously not going to want to leave it out in the weather permanently or the rain permanently. Just best practice to pack it away and keep it somewhere dry when you're not using it. But it's a really great addition for anybody's setup if you've got a bit of height that you need to manage, or even if you're looking for a compact and portable option to use around the home. You can get this one at snowies.com.au at our low prices every day.